This question involves a mix of algebraic topics, so just go through each one. So work out the value of f when g is equal to -5 and h is equal to 2. So I'd recommend that you write out exactly what the formula here is suggesting by putting back in all the operations. So we can see that number next to letter we end up timesing, and then substitute your values in. My recommendation is always substitute with a bracket, and then you can work it through. And 7 times 2. Now it's a calculator paper, so you can just type that in as it is with your brackets in to make sure your negatives get used properly on your calculator and things, and make sure you're using your negative key, not your takeaway key. You normally find on calculators it either says neg with a little symbol above it, or you've got a plus or minus key. So look for those two keys and use one of them properly with your negative numbers. And 3 times -5 is -15, and 7 times 2 is 14, and then we're adding those together. So -15 plus 14, then we're going to end up with an answer here of -1. Factorize, then we need to remember that factorize means put the expressions back into the original bracket it came from in terms of the expansion. So we've got a common factor to both of these, so it's going to be a single bracket factorization, and outside the bracket goes the highest common factor. And when we look at these two terms, we can see that the highest common factor is 3, and then literally we're dividing the expression by that highest common factor of 3. And what we get from that, 3x divided by 3 leaves you with x, and 6 divided by 3 leaves you with 2. So, and you can see what that happened there. 3 divided by 3 is 1, so you're left with 1x, and 6 divided by 3 is 2. What you get left from the division by the highest common factor is the expression that goes inside the bracket. And we can check it because we can see that by expanding it backwards, 3 times x is the 3x, and 3 times 2 is the 6. So factorize, put things into brackets, common factor, single bracket. The next part is asking us to expand and simplify these brackets. So expand means we multiply out, so this is saying you've got 5 lots of each of the bits inside the bracket. So 5 lots of y gives you 5y, 5 lots of -2 gives you -10, 2 lots of y, positive there, so it's adding it, so adding 2y. And it's got to be a little bit careful here because we're doing +2 times -3, which will make -6. Always then you've got to simplify, which means bring all your like terms together, things that have the same letters and so forth. So we've got 5y and 2y. Always keep the operations with the thing to the right. So something at the front here, it's got an operation in front of it, just that mathematicians and that don't write it, but it's positive, so it's plus 5y plus another 2y, so 7y. And then we've got -10, -10, take away 6 more, so take away 6 more. And if you remember your number line, guys, so it's saying start at -10 and take away more, so we end up at -16. So the answer here will be 7y take away 16, because we interpret the negative as a takeaway. Then we're going through the process of simplifying with the same base m and has powers, and the pattern basically is you add the powers when you're timesing with the same bases. So this becomes m to the power of 8. It works because if you remember, m to the power of 5 means you're doing m times m times m times m, and then times it by m to the power of 3 means you're doing times m times m times m. So in essence altogether you've multiplied 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 m's, and in multiplying all of those together it's the same as doing m to the power of 8. And similarly when you're doing division, then we talk about we've got power 6 divided by power 2 of the same base p. So the laws of indices say that we can do a subtraction when we're dealing with division with the same power, same base number or same base letter. So this becomes p to the power of 4. And again you can see why it works, because p to the power of 6 means p times p times p times p. So p, 6 of those, and then p squared is that, and p divided by p is 1, p divided by p is 1. So we're literally doing 1 times 1, which is 1, and then times what those are, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 p's left, all being multiplied, so it becomes p to the power of 4. Okay, so a quick rundown of some of the algebraic manipulations that you've got to do. Substitution, just be careful to put things in brackets when you're dealing with negatives and that, because calculators can do things in the wrong way if you're not careful. And when you're careful there, you get the answer. Factorize, put into brackets, expand and simplify, multiply all that out, and then put together like terms. Laws of indices, when using the same base and powers, then timesing, we add the powers, dividing with the same base, then we take away the powers. So a quick run through of some algebra there.